Get some price picks in today, guys. My streak of 25x's has officially ended. I hit 4 in the past 3 days. Last night I could not get one. Almost got this one, but Nurkic absolutely popped off on the rebounds. I actually almost got a couple. If I go over to the recap from last night, we went minus 1.6 units on price picks, minus half unit on underdog, and a couple really close ones. You see this one was one off here. This one was one off. This one was also one off. On price picks, we had the Nurkic one I just showed you, as well as this one was going to be a 10x, and this one right here, Damian Lillard, was looking so good, but he ended up going over that assist within the last quarter. So obviously I'm not gonna hit 25x's every day, but I hit enough to be profitable. And you could see the recap here in the past 3 days. So the first 3 days this week, we're up 75 units. If you're up, let's say $75, so your unit is $1 and you're up $75, are you really gonna be mad about being down $1.6 on that 4th day? No, not really, right? So it doesn't really matter what happens on a day-to-day basis. As long as over like 2 weeks, you're up like this, we're up 56.1 units within this time span here. Even with these days where you're losing $10, 8.8, $7, 5.9, if you're recovering that within the next days, doesn't really matter. And same thing and vice versa. If you're having really good days in the beginning and then you lose some in the next days, doesn't really matter as long as over the month you're up, right? And that's exactly how the Discord works. So as for the picks from the actual league, I didn't have them on my main account here, but I did send them in the Discord. For this recap, Booker missed as well as Allen, and so did Brook Lopez. So this was a 3-3 slip. Of course, it didn't hit, but you could see everyone in Discord gets this exact slip as well as all the other slips. Then the other slip I gave out was this one here. So Kawhi hit as well as Jalen Green, but Kudus ended up pushing. So this was 2 wins, 1 push, and then these guys all lost. So that's exactly what happens when I'm grabbing 2 players from the same team on Boston, for example. I'm expecting to hit together. In this case, they both went over together rather than under. And of course, we had the unders. Jaylen Brown absolutely popped off last night. So overall, it wasn't a great day, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see if we could recover it tonight. I have a full 6-man for you. Actually, I have 2 full 6-mans. One's going to be in college basketball and one's going to be in NBA. So let's get onto the board with the first pick. And we're going to go with Jokic on the over 25.5 points. Let's just find him right here. He is a hot one. I guess a lot of people are going to be on display. They are up against the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm loving this matchup. Of course, it's an easy matchup. We all know that San Antonio Spurs are not good, but the spread is at minus 10.5, and the Nuggets are away. The total is leaning towards the lower side, but it is still an easy matchup, and the juice is heavy for Jokic on this over 25.5. I'm surprised it has not been bumped yet. I do expect it at 26, and do not take this at 26, only at 25.5. You could use some sort of replacement pick after if Jokic does get bumped. So 25.5 minus 130 juice. It's a no-brainer to take a prop like this, but let's take a look at the positional defense. We're looking at all positions. The Wizards give up the most points. We're looking for the San Antonio Spurs, which are basically like 6th in line here, averaging 23.75 points against all positions. But the center positions where it gets even better for us, which is where Jokic plays, of course. They're 2nd worst in the league at defending the center position, only behind the Washington Wizards, so 26.22 average. So not only is it a good matchup against the Spurs, it's even a better matchup against Jokic's actual position. So we're definitely going to be all over Jokic's over 25.5 points. Now next is going to be a combination of 2 players over in the Miami Heat. We're going with Jimmy Butler on his over 5.5 assists, and we're matching this up with Duncan Robinson on his over 19.5 PRA. There's a couple things going for this. First of all, they're up against the Pistons. This is another like kind of slow-paced matchup and another high spread here, so minus 8. Could be a potential blowout and a pretty low total, even lower than the previous one we were just looking at. But I do think it's possible to get these things done. Now, if we look at these players on their individual basis, nothing special. If we go to player assists, we see Jimmy Butler slight juice towards the over 5.5, which is still good, but it's not enough juice to kind of take on his own. The reason we're taking him is because we're matching him up with the PRA for Duncan Robinson, which again is not a good prop on its own. When you match these guys together, it becomes very good because they depend on each other. Now, Bam is probable tonight. And if he is out, this is going to extremely help our lines here on the 5.5 and on the 19.5. I do expect, both of those lines to get bumped if Bam is out. Now, I don't think he's going to be out either way because he is listed as probable. But if he is, it's an even extra boost. I'm expecting to play tonight, and I'm expecting these lines still to hit. If we go take a look at the positional defense against assists, we're going to go over to the small forward position where Jimmy Butler is playing and check over to the assists. Now, they're up against the Pistons tonight, who are 5th in assists allowed against the small forward position. Honestly, it's good to see that the Pistons allow this many assists against a small forward, because if you check they're actually all the way down here at 13th in the league. So it's a big difference between all positions and the small forward position. And of course, when we're grabbing Butler assists, it's something nice to see. On top of that, we're grabbing Duncan Robinson on the over PRA. If we check Duncan Robinson's assisted points as well as where he's getting these points, so 66.6% or 2/3 of his points come from 3-point field goals. And if you check how many of those 3-point field goals are assisted, That's 92% of them, which means 9 out of 10 of the times that he's getting a 3-pointer, it's going to be assisted. And of his points, 2/3 of those are assisted, which means a lot of his points are going to be assisted. If Duncan Robinson is having a very good game, the players around him are going to be getting assists. Of course, Bam and Butler were going to be thriving on the assist department if Duncan Robinson is getting a lot of points, especially if he is getting threes. But even if we look at his 2-pointers, his 2-pointers are still assisted 72% of the time. So very good player to be pairing up with another player on the assists. Now, I know we do have his PRA, but the main point of his PRA is going to be off the points. If you do want to grab his points set at 13.5, I still like it there, but I'm going with the 19.5 PRA because if this game ends up being longer and it's maybe tighter than expected, both of these lines are more likely to go over together because they're going to be playing a lot of minutes together here. Now for the fourth pick, I'm actually going to go over the tennis, and this is just a little push line I'm liking. It's on this guy, Luca Van Asch. We're going to grab him on the under 23 total games. It's just a very high expected value play. If you go check Pinnacle, it's kind of the sharpest for tennis. You see minus 134 on the under 23 games, plus 115 on the over 23 games. This is a pretty low juice market for a total games prop, so we're going to go on the under. Of course, I'm liking that juice at minus 134 on the under 23 games. That's just a standard tennis play. It doesn't matter too much if you don't like tennis or anything. It's just a good play. Just stick with it. Also, it's a push line, right? So you see 23.0. If this ends up pushing at exactly 23, we do revert down to a 5 flex where at least we could get a 10x potential or even another 2x if we get 4 out of 5 picks. So that's why I like to throw in a little push line into our entries on the 6-mans. Now, the last picks I'm going with are going to be Ingram on the under 19.5 points. If we just check quickly on his juice, he's set at minus 120. It's not heavy juice, but I'm still liking him on the under 19.5 points. The last prop I was going to go with was CJ McCollum on the over 3.5 rebounds. You could see I already locked this full slip in on the Discord, and we had CJ at the over 3.5 rebounds. I guess they removed him. It was too juiced on the over 3.5. They only left his Demons prop here and his Goblins prop. Absolutely hate these props. They're a complete scam, and I have a whole video about that if you want to learn more. So I'm not going to recommend these instead of the 3.5 where he's originally at. So I'm going to just give you a 6 prop that's kind of not the exact Discord play, but just one prop different from what I actually have. Since we're grabbing Brandon Ingram on the under 19.5 points, might as well go ahead and throw in Zion on the under 5.5 assists. Of course, if Zion's getting less assists, it's more likely that Brandon Ingram's also getting less points. So that's going to be the full slip. Jokic over 25.5 points, Butler over 5.5 assists, Duncan Robinson over 19.5 PRA, Luca Van Asch over in tennis on the under 23 total games, Ingram under 19.5 points, and Zion under 5.5 assists. I still do have a college basketball slip for you guys here, so I'm just going to clear this one out since I already locked something similar in. So over in college basketball, I'm literally just going to take these straight from the OddsJuice dashboard. So a lot of people ask me what this dashboard is. It's just the best positive expected value picks. Like, I don't have to do any research on these. I already have things working in the back end that are telling me, okay, Joplin over here is set at 55.75% win probability, or that's the projected win probability for him. There's heavy juice towards his under 4.5 rebounds. So I could go over now, literally copy paste it over and grab the under 4.5 rebounds. I could also grab this guy here, Chris, on the over 5.5 rebounds. See, I'm doing absolutely no research because I already know the research is baked in to the back end of this website. I'm also going to go with Rob on the over 13.5 points. That's a third prop. Next, we're going to go with Lamar here on the over 11.5 points. Lamar here does start pretty soon from when I'm filming this video in about an hour. So I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to get this in. But if not, just throw it as in a 5 flex. It's still good. You still get that 10x payout. It's not 25x, but it's still pretty decent. Next, we're going to go with this guy here, Castle on the over half a 3-point made. And we're going to end it off with Tristan Newton here. You can see this line is set at 8.5 on the sportsbook. So we're getting all the way down at 7.5. Doesn't seem like a lot, but on a rebounds prop, 1 rebound is actually pretty massive. So you definitely want to be on Tristan Newton's over 7.5 rebounds before it gets bumped. So let's go and grab this and lock this in as our college ball slip. Like I said, if Lamar's not on here by the time you guys are watching, just throw it into 5 flex. It's all good. This is going to be the 2 slips for today.